Hello everyone, we're about to tell you what's coming up in September, but before that we've got something to show you. We're so chuffed because, you know, 250,000 downloads of these podcasts is just brilliant. And when there's a video, of course, there's people watching the video. So that's kind of even more than 250,000. But it's brilliant. We were so chuffed, weren't we?
We were in, 800 episodes. I mean, that does go back a long way. We have been doing this podcast for some years. We just started the branding it as the Scottish Independence Podcast in January 2022, so a year and a half ago. But it was on the go for quite a while before that, when we used to put up various podcasts that had been played on Indie Live Radio.
The ones that we've done over the past 18 months. And before that, there was a lot of good ones came out from, actually, I'll say it myself, from myself and Valerie Gold when we were interviewing people. But we're not actually suggesting you go way back. You might find some about football, I think.
You don't need to go way back, because all you need to do is look on our website, because we've got the best of them. We went through our back catalogue and we added the best ones in. So everything from when we started is on there, but also a selection of the best of our previous ones, which largely was Marlene and Val, I have to say. Okay, September. Well, I can't believe we're in September already. This year has just gone like that, hasn't it?
Yep.
So the first thing that's going to happen on the 1st of September are Friday podcasts. Rising Clyde, which, as you know, is our environmental justice show. And the host of that, Ian Bruce, was at the climate camp, which was held near Ineos's backyard in Grangemouth. Then, on the 2nd of September, we will be out and about again, won't we, Marlene?
We will. We'll be over in Edinburgh on the Yes for EU, Believe in Scotland march. And we'll have our cameras and our recording equipment with us, and we never know, we might bump into you. And so I'm looking forward to doing that. I enjoyed doing that in the Glasgow march, so it'll be good doing it in the Edinburgh one. And then that looks like they've got a really good lineup of speakers for that as well. Great
lineup of speakers. That will probably be our Friday the 8th podcast. Strangely enough, not everybody watches YouTube, and we know we've got a much wider audience actually through our podcast, so we often make audios available through that, so we'll make that a special audio version. We might also end up with some video from us in Edinburgh, so we'll throw that up on Indypod Extra. But right now, it's hard I think we're just planning on doing the march, aren't we? Just see who we bump into. And
see who we bump into. I
hear that Brian Cox has asked if he can meet us, but I don't know if we'll have time.
Well, we'll have to think about that.
We'll see.
Actually, quite just a couple of days after the march actually happens, you and I have got a recording date set up with a couple of guests to talk about the film Oppenheimer, what we felt about that film and what we took from it. And we'll be with Bill Ramsey and Isabel Lindsay, both of whom are, long-standing CND campaigners. So see what they thought about it. It's a long film, 3 hours. Although I must say, I didn't sort of notice it. I was pretty well engrossed by it. It was fantastic.
I enjoyed it. It came out slightly sort of, obviously there are big weighty issues that are being discussed. But I'm really looking forward to see what Bill and Isabel's take on it is. It might be completely different from ours.
So that'll be appearing at some point in September.
There'll be a video and an audio version of that one, I expect. Then our Mibby's Eye this month, we're hoping, we haven't got the dates confirmed yet, but we're hoping that we're going to be able to chat to Alf Baird about some academic research he's done. Now, if you watch us regularly, you know we've chatted to Alf about various things, including ferries, ports, free ports, as well as being a professor of maritime commerce. he has also done academic work on the state of mind. This is the sort of Scottish cringe, really, isn't it?
He's looking at how what the experience has been of countries who have been colonies of in the British Empire, and how that affected people's view of themselves, how it affected the institutions that they have in their country. And then he goes from there and says, well, is there any evidence that shows that Scotland has something of the same effect, without necessarily saying we're technically a colony? But if you're kind of like treated like something, maybe there have been effects of that on us. So I think that'll be fascinating.
The other aspect of that as well is, how do you decolonize your mind, your thinking, but also our institutions and things? Obviously, all these former colonies of the British Empire have established themselves in their own right. Well, how did they do it? And how far away are we from achieving that sort of freedom, real independence, you know?
Yeah, and obviously in 1707, the people who drew up the treaty weren't thinking that far ahead. But actually, if you look in retrospect, whatever else you might say about that treaty, it did guarantee that Scotland's national religious institutions and educational institutions and legal institutions retained their uniqueness, and to some extent retained a certain independence, or at least separateness from what was happening in the big neighbours next door. And it'll be interesting to see if he thinks that's had any significant effect in a positive way for us. Looking forward to talking to Alf.
And we have to say, we haven't got the date nailed down yet, so if he's away on holiday for the next 3 weeks, that might get held over. On the 21st of September, out and about again, Gordon McDowell-Kemp is going to be speaking in Stirling at the Sterling Smith Gallery. So I'm hoping that we're going to go and film that, 7 till 9, I think. We might also have a discussion with Graham McCormack, how to take forward the mechanics of Scotland extricating itself from the Treaty of Union and looking at things such as the Vienna Convention. Now, that was something that pricked up our ears about, because we didn't know anything about that. So we're hoping to have a chat with Graham so he can tell us a bit more. Yeah. And if we get that, if we manage to avoid his holidays, there'll be an audio and a video version of that as well. And then the last Friday in September will be Bits and Pieces Roundup for September. And I don't know who the guest presenter is going to be on that one. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting with Lynn for the August one. Maybe she'll be doing another one.
She was building up a bit of a fan base, from what I can gather.
Yeah, she got lots of nice feedback.
Yeah, it's great.
Good to know we're not remotely jealous, Lynn.
Yeah. I know this isn't going to figure in as a podcast, but you just this weekend you were up on Skye, weren't you? And you met Blaze and Loch.
Blaze and Loch, and beautiful, beautiful dogs. Huge dogs. I mean, I thought sheepdogs was kind of, I don't know, spaniel size, but no, they're bear size.
No, they're not spaniel size. If you look on Twitter, now the Twitter account is Blaze from Skye, so if you haven't come across it, follow them, because it's really fun. It's very fun, but they've got a very nice photo of the two dogs sitting in front of the Yes Slates exhibit on the march. The photos taken by you, I think, wasn't it?
Me, wow. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get a little summary of some of the video from Skye. It was wild and wet and windy weekend, but the hardy souls who walked across the bridge, it really was a spectacle. You know, you can't fail to be in that scenery, but you know, well done to all of them.
It was quite a nice day down here in Glasgow. I was sort of aware that, you know, there was a howling wind going on. I think, well, that's nice down here. But, and the other thing that might appear on our YouTube channel on Indypod Extra is my little commentary and videos from all the cycling that went on through Glasgow.
You had some great photos, so a little bit of footage from that would be really good. There was a clip from that in last month's Bits and Pieces, so if anybody wants to hear what Marlene was saying, go on.
So is that us then?
That's it for September, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty packed September. And you never know, there might be some other little surprises that we throw in as well. You might get a bonus Tuesday, who knows?
And in the meantime, we'll just finish by letting you see our little celebratory video again. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.